Television. We are glad to have you with us. Let's begin with the top stories of the day. In an exclusive interview with Mario Nafol, a new media journalist on X, President Paul Kagame reaffirmed his stance on addressing regional security issues. Participants in the Africa Health and Economic Forum are encouraged to unite and collaborate to drive innovation and enhance the health sector across the African continent. On the international scene, talk of tariffs combined with fears of inflation sent the U.S. stock market trembling on Monday and again on Tuesday, a day of give and take between the United States and Canada. My name is Olive Nete. It's always a privilege to have you with us for today's edition. Now let's kick off the edition. In an interview with Mario Nafol, a new media journalist on X, President Paul Kagame reaffirmed his stance on addressing regional security issues and on how aid to developing countries has been weaponized and used as a tool of control and create dependency. Adam Squizera kicks us off tonight.
In this exclusive interview, President Paul Kagame specifically addressed the ongoing conflicts in the Eastern DRC, outlining his perspective on how the issue can be effectively resolved.
Now what is needed is for parties involved and others who want to support to stop the fighting, have a ceasefire. 2, it is to find a process that resolves political issues peacefully. And that will require the leaders of Congo to take the bull by its horns and accept the reality and say, I must talk to these Congolese opposed to me. I must listen to them and what are their grievances. Even if they picked out of 10 grievances and they picked 6 and said, okay, on these ones we agree. On the other 4 we don't agree. That's progress. Now, 3, they must recognize the security concerns of Rwanda and address them because they are based in Congo and in fact they've been associated with the Congolese government. So there must be recognition of that.
President Kagame also pointed out that powerful nations have vested interests in Eastern DRC, that they should recognize their potential role in restoring peace in the region.
But even those countries that have interests in the Congo, it's their right to have interests there. They should also find that their interests would be served better by solving these problems and in this manner.
The head of state also underscored that Rwanda's primary interest is achieving and maintaining peace, both within the country and across the region.
We really want peace. We want peace in Congo because it translates into peace for us, and so that we continue rebuilding our small country and that has had enough of suffering, more than enough. We can't be the ones who are looking for any trouble to take us back to those days.
President Paul Kagame also reiterated on how aid to developing countries has been weaponized and used as a tool of control and create dependency.
We have told the people we appreciate aid. We needed it and we still need it to an extent, but we need it so that we build capacities, not to need it in the near future. That is a standard for us. That's what we say, and that's what we do.
So, again, a common friend of ours told me a story about how you were talking with other leaders about this aid. And there was instances where you're like, and I'd rather you tell the story than I, but you're like, I don't need that aid. And they're almost like they're trying to force it on you in a way.
Yeah.
Can you give me such examples?
It has been discussion, these discussions have dominated many years and many conversations we have had between those who need support, aid support those who... And the question for us has always been, we need it. We can put a date to it. We can show where we need it, but we also work out how to get out of it. And this is something we have with us. We share with anyone who wants to do work relating to aid with us. But that has attracted a lot of problems for us. Some of us even thinking, I mean, we have been branded either arrogant or insensitive or dictatorial or all kinds of names, just because of that.
Because you don't want aid.
Because we say, and we try to differentiate things. It's not that we don't want aid for the sake of not wanting it. We are saying aid creates dependency. By the way, not only dependency is on the good side, I mean the better side even. The other one is, whoever gives you aid controls your life. In fact, that's why they want you to stay with aid, so they continue controlling your life. And even threaten, use it as a tool to direct you where they want you to go.
In this exclusive interview, the head of state highlighted Rwanda's journey of resilience, reducing its dependence on external aid from 90% to 15%. He emphasized that other African nations should take note of this approach rather than relying heavily on foreign aid. Adam Squizera, RTV News.
Still on regional security, the government of Rwanda affirms that peace talks between M23 and the Democratic Republic of Congo are the only way to bring lasting peace to this region. This follows the statement of the Angolan presidency that President Tshisekedi agreed to establish contacts with the M23. Prince Manzi has more on this.
The
Angolan presidency statement revealed that the direct negotiations between the M23 and DRC delegations will take place in Rwanda, March 18th. The deputy spokesperson of the government of Rwanda, Ale Mukurarinda, stresses on the benefits Rwanda anticipates from these talks if they take place. This will remove the run to Europe looking for sanctions for Rwanda, as these sanctions will not change anything on the situation. There are two things. One, Rwanda's security is being threatened. Second, the persecution of a certain group of Congolese. If these talks were through, 100,000 refugees here would go home. Conflicts would be over. Rwanda's issue of security threatened can also be taken care of. So, this means that if Congolese sit together, there would be peace in the region. M23 has repeatedly expressed its desire for peace talks, but the Congolese government has often dismissed this, favoring war instead. Regional politics analyst Jean-Baptiste Kasominari elaborates that the Congolese government's willingness to engage in talks carries significant meaning. He was defeated on the battle, and it is obvious that the politics and diplomacy were also defeated on, even though they say that he succeeded because of the sanctions provided to Rwanda. But all that is because he gave corruption, and that is a strategy that is not sustainable. Kasominari also states that the challenge to these talks is the arrest warrant issued for the M23 leaders. Other challenges to the talks are elaborated by President Kagame in an exclusive interview with Mario Naufar, a new media journalist on X.
I have no problem. But making deals with Tshisekedi is...
Making deals with what?
With Tshisekedi, with Felix?
It's very difficult.
It's the most difficult thing. The most, I am just challenging anybody. I want to see anybody who has made a deal with him and who would say, you are telling lies. I would want to see that. On the contrary, I have dealt with him. I know. You say you agree something, just as he steps out the door,
So it's an issue of
out
leadership.
of the room, it's completely either forgotten, changed, or so we will say, no, we didn't say that.
The DRC has called on Angola to mediate in this matter, yet just 2 weeks ago, the Southern African Development Community and the East African Community.
Thank you, Prince Manzi, for the details. Now moving ahead, the Rwandan Parliament has asked the Committee on Land, Agriculture, Livestock and Environment to follow up on resolutions submitted to the government from 2018 to 2024 that have not been implemented, including the issue of residents in the Muhanga Industrial Zone who have not been compensated. In a plenary session, members of the Committee on Land, Agriculture, Livestock and Environment informed the Parliament that many of the resolutions submitted to the government have been implemented. However, there are areas where the actions taken have not provided solutions. The Parliament sought to understand why some issues submitted to the government have not yielded results and also adopted resolutions that include requesting the Committee on Land, Agriculture and Livestock and Environment to continue monitoring initiatives that have begun, including expediting the resolution of issues for those living near the steel factory, relocating those residing in the Muhanga Industrial Zone, improving collaboration among entities involved in the agriculture and livestock value chain to find solutions to the challenges faced by farmers, and monitoring the implementation of the program for collecting all waste from electronic equipment. Now to the health sector, participants in the Africa Health and Economic Forum are encouraged to unite and collaborate to drive innovation and enhance the health sector across the African continent. Now in its 7th year, this biennial forum brings together a wide array of stakeholders, including healthcare professionals, economists, researchers, and policymakers, all dedicated to advancing health and well-being. The event, themed around building resilient health systems in African countries, was attended by over 350 participants from across the globe, with a significant representation from the African continent. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Health emphasized the government of Rwanda's substantial efforts in advancing the health sector, ensuring access to quality health care for all. Notably, these efforts include the establishment of the Mutuelle de Santé, a community-based health insurance program designed to make healthcare accessible and affordable for every Rwandan.
Our innovative models, such as community-based health insurance schemes, have ensured that all Rwandans, regardless of their socio-economic status, can have access to essential quality health services. This effort is a cornerstone for our Health Sector Strategic Plan 5, which emphasizes equity, accessibility, and sustainability of health services. Our commitment to universal health coverage aligns perfectly with the objective of this conference, which aims at promoting policy-relevant evidences to strengthen health systems and explore innovative strategies to create equitable and resilient healthcare systems across Africa.
Professor John Ele Ojo-Ataguba, the Executive Director of the African Health Economics and Policy Association, emphasized that the time has come for African countries to build the necessary capacity to strengthen and develop their health sectors sustainably.
I do not think you can build a strong and healthy family depending on others for an extended period. That is, you're waiting for your neighbor to cook before you eat. You will dine late, if at all you dine. Therefore, you will all agree with me that it also applies to a country's government in building a strong and resilient health system. It is time to act, as it is often said that the child who is carried on the back does not know how far the journey is. The earlier we start walking, in this light, the 7th Scientific Conference of AFIA brings together more than 350 delegates from across Africa and beyond to discuss, engage, and seek various ways that health economics and policy can contribute to walking this journey and preparing our own meals to achieve sustainable health systems.
Now moving ahead, members of the Committee on Governance, Affairs and Gender have called on the Ministry of Local Government to support local authorities in improving service delivery aimed at the development and well-being of citizens. Some citizens who have encountered issues in service delivery at the local government level say this is due to non-compliance with laws and emotional biases from some leaders. Discussions between the committee members and leaders in the Ministry of Local Government highlighted the ongoing issues in service delivery within local government structures and in early childhood development centers. In response to these issues, the Minister of Local Government, Dr. Mugenzi Patrice, explained that they will work to streamline operations and correct the errors identified in the report from the Rwanda Governance Board, which includes delays in information dissemination, failure to follow the recommendations of the Auditor General, and inadequate collaboration with stakeholders. The deputies also requested that a media policy be made public, and the Ministry of Local Government should play a direct role in addressing other issues faced by media due to its role in the national development. Still on local matters, the East African Business Council, in partnership with Inter-University Council for East Africa, has launched a university industry collaboration support strategy to bridge the skills mismatch between students and the job market demands. William Evans has more on this.
Hereby officially launch
the University Industry Collaboration Support Strategy and a Research Excellence Framework for Higher Education in East Africa were launched during the 13th Academia Public-Private Partnership Forum 2025. In his remarks, Honorable Joseph Nsengimana, Minister for Education, noted that the forum reflects Rwanda's shared commitment, calling on higher education institutions to utilize these frameworks.
the Research Excellence for Framework for Higher Education Institution and the University Industry Collaboration Support Strategy. These will guide institutions in implementing research and strengthening partnership with industry to drive meaningful impact. I urge higher learning institutions to utilize these frameworks to enhance their competitiveness and social contribution. We recognize that a strong private sector fuels economic transformation, while an industry-aligned education system fosters innovation and progress.
The Director General of Rwanda's Higher Education Council remarked that even though Rwanda has made significant strides towards bridging the skills gap, the private sector is encouraged to get involved with skills initiatives.
The government of Rwanda has made significant strides in fostering university-industry collaboration, driven by the country's vision to become a knowledge-based economy. We need to have established policies that support research and innovation and encourage the private sector to engage in skills development initiatives. However, we recognize that more needs to be done. And this forum presents an opportunity for bench learning from the best practices across the region and beyond.
Some of the students who attended this forum shared their thoughts and significance of such forums.
This allows us to assess what the industry is actually asking for and to hear from the employers themselves what they need and hone our own skills as students to be able to meet that need when we enter the job market after school. And so I think it's important for forums like these to give you enough information on the university level and as a student to gather all the different skill sets that you need after school to be able to enter the job market and also excel in the job market.
According to a report by African Development Bank, across Africa, an estimated 10 to 12 million young people enter the labor market each year, yet only around 3 formal jobs are created. William Evans, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Evans, for the detailed report. Now, moving ahead, the East African Court of Justice launched a data governance training program in Kigali from 11th to 13th March 2025. The training aims to strengthen judicial expertise in data governance with a particular focus on data protection, privacy, and legal adjudication. It was designed to ensure that judges in the East African community are equipped to effectively apply the forthcoming EAC Data Protection and Privacy Act while promoting a harmonized regional approach to emerging technologies. Engineer Daniel Murenzi, Principal Information Technology Officer at the EAC Secretariat, stressed the importance of equipping judicial officers with the necessary skills to manage the evolving challenges of data governance.
So we have decided to train our East African judges who are based in the East African Court of Justice to ensure that they now understand how do we deal with the cyber crimes, cyber challenges within the cyberspace. As you are aware, we are now moving within the digital transformation agenda as a region, as countries, and the continent, and the whole world. So cases are likely that we can have the cyber crimes within our trading environment, within the cross-border data flow. So we decided to orient our judges. We decided to make sure that they understand, so that in the case of any cyber challenges that would happen in cybercrime, they are aware and they can deal with it. We are working on harmonization of our laws. Different countries are having the different laws that are not harmonized communicating, and it affects the trade, it affects the cross-border sharing. We are working in one region which requires cross-border trading between each other. So once the laws are not harmonized, even there are challenges that even the cases can raise and you are unable to resolve them. So that's the purpose of holding our East African Court of Justice judges here, to orient them, to train them on the data privacy, data protection, and also on the data governance. This is also a continent agenda. We have been working with African Union. As you are aware, we have the CFTA, the Continental Free Trade Area. You cannot trade continentally without having laws harmonized. And in case the litigation happens within our trade environment, how would our judges understand it, and how do they deal with the matter? So that's the purpose of this harmonized training. We are bringing our judges together. They are all represented from our East African partner states.
Honorable Justice Nestor Kayobera, the President of the East African Court of Justice, highlighted the significance of the initiative, noting that this training is needed due to the cross-border cases they face that involve technology.
It's very important. It's more important for the judges of the Eastern Court of Justice, because at the end of the day, the East African community is in the process of organizing a law on data protection, data governance, and the data privacy. But even if the council minister may be organizing or having the law on data governance, data protection, data privacy, it is also very important also to train the judges, because as we may be aware, whenever there are disputes, at the end of the day, after the implementation of the law, sometimes it comes with the disputes. So it is always necessary to train the judges, so at least at the end of the day, even the law is there, the implementation of the law, the enforcement of the law, sometimes it comes with the disputes, which may end at the court. So which means that we are grateful for the Secretariat, but especially for the person in charge, Mr. Murenzi, who is in charge of this issue of ICT within the East African Community Secretariat, for training the judges. Because at the end of the day, if you don't train the judges, they may come with the very bad decisions. So by training the judges, we are sure that when the law comes on data protection, on data governance, or also on data privacy, the judges also will be aware of the law and also make the good implementation of the law. So we are grateful to the Secretariat, but also to the facilitators who are training the judges of the East African Justice. All the judges are here, and we are happy with the way the training and the facilitation is being taken place.
Now to more news. The Rwanda Information Society Authority held discussions with the American company Red Hat on Wednesday to explore the potential use of Red Hat technology across various government agencies in Rwanda. Currently, many of these agencies operate on different technological platforms. Saidi Ngoga, division head at the Rwanda Information Society Authority, emphasized that adopting Red Hat's technology could not only standardize operation but also significantly enhance security, as Red Hat's solutions are known for their high level of cybersecurity. This collaboration is seen as a key step in advancing Rwanda's digital transformation and ensuring more secure and efficient technology infrastructure for government institutions. The Central Bank of Rwanda, the Rwanda Revenue Authority, and the Rwanda Social Security Board are among the key government agencies in Rwanda currently utilizing Red Hat technology.
The purpose of this workshop is to explore how this technology can be scaled and used within all public institutions. First, this technology will help to accelerate the government's initiative to use new and emerging technologies such as AI and others. Second, this technology also can help to increase the security of not only infrastructure but also the public IT infrastructure itself. This is in line with RISA's mandate to provide standard technologies to be used and deployed within the government and public institutions. For example, when we have standard technologies commonly used within the public institutions, it makes the work more easier for not only the people who develop those the systems and services, but also the people and service being provided to the citizen, but also on the monitoring and inspections of technologies used within the public institutions.
icyo mbaza ni kimwe koko hari umuntu ugihagarara ku nyama muri iki gihe koko uretse nitaba umukiriya kiriya biteze
ariko tayi aho gusoreza imyenda wibereye kuri telefone kweli
ariko ni kuwa mbere nawe wagwa wamo uracyari wose icyo nakubwiraga wa muntu niko ye umuntu w'umugabo ku bukwe bwe akambara kositimu itukura iciye n'amaboko noneho none se uyisuza
si wombwiye ngo ngwe muse
ntabwo ari ibintu avugaga
kuwa mbere kanda akanyenyeri 345 akanyenyeri 2 urwego maze nawe ugwemo. Wikwisondeka.
You're still watching RwandaTV News. Now to matters making headlines globally. Talk of tariffs combined with fears of inflation sent to the U.S. stock market, turning Monday and again on Tuesday a day of give and take between the United States and Canada, with President Donald Trump defending his use of tariffs. VOA has more on this.
Day 2, another plunge of the U.S. stock market. President Donald Trump escalating an already tense trade war. The president threatening to double tariffs on Canadian metals after Canada's intent to raise the price of electricity exports to the U.S. At the end of the day, both men backing down, leaving stocks shaken. The president still plans the original 25% tariffs on Canada to promote products made in America.
The right thing to do is what we're doing. We're going to get our jobs back, and we're not going to be left at.
For the past 36 years, Ramon Perez has managed to Bernadette Alabardero. His business lived through COVID, and the tariffs of President Trump's first term.
Remember 2018, 2020, it's going to be all right. Well, it gives you us a game, right?
The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped nearly 900 points Monday and nearly 500 Tuesday. Losses felt in Roger Frichette's retirement account.
It's really tough to see all that value disappearing so quickly. I think much of what has been gained the entire year is now probably gone.
People are jumping to conclusions, and it's a little overreacting right now, so we'll see. Give it like 30 days to see what the effects of these tariffs and everything, because even President Trump keeps changing his mind, so who knows?
Financial analysts say it's that unpredictability that stings.
It's hard for investors and for businesses and for American consumers to sort of know what the future policy environment looks like. Getting more certainty there, I think, would be helpful to people.
When asked if he predicts a recession, President Trump said, "I don't see it at all." Many, though, are looking to the stock market to answer that question. Carolyn Persutti, VOA News at the White House.
Still in the United States, the country has detained a Palestinian activist who helped lead protests against Israel at Columbia University. VOA once more.
At Columbia University, the detention and possible deportation of alumnus and activist Mahmoud Khalil has ignited debate. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed his arrest on Saturday, accusing Khalil of leading activities aligned with Hamas, a designated terrorist organization. The Trump administration defends the move, stating it is enforced under an executive order prohibiting anti-Semitism and is necessary to protect Jewish students and ensure campus safety. Reactions on campus are mixed.
I'm actually a foreign student from Israel, but it was a worry of mine when I came to Columbia of how I'd be treated as an Israeli student and as a Jewish student as well. I think that this is a first step that the government is taking in order to tell Columbia basically this needs to stop.
Yeah, I just think that it creates a lot of uncertainty for the university and a kind of a chilling effect. So on one hand, people are worried about what they write in emails, what they're studying, even the discussions that are happening in classrooms. People are thinking twice about what they say.
Supporters argue that the Trump administration's actions are a critical step in addressing rising concerns about anti-Semitism and ensuring the safety of all students.
I certainly applaud these actions by the Trump administration, and I'm grateful for them. After more than a year of ongoing harassment and violence on college campuses and in city streets, finally, the administration is coming up, upholding the law, and making it very clear that foreign nationals who support terrorism and espouse terrorist activity have no place in the United States of America.
Someone cannot be summarily arrested and imprisoned.
However, not all agree. Recent protests at Columbia reflected growing concern that the administration's tactics might infringe on fundamental rights and freedoms.
I think that the silencing of voices of protest of the Gaza war and of Israel's policies in the name of preserving Jewish safety is profoundly wrong and misdirected, and is used as a vehicle for actually suppressing our speech more broadly.
Our message to the Trump administration is that we will not be silenced. The First Amendment is still alive and well in the United States of America. Green card holders, like other residents of the United States, have a right to free speech. They cannot be arrested and detained and deported for expressing views that the president disagrees with.
Meanwhile, some political leaders strongly support the administration's decisive stance on campus safety.
If you are on a student visa and you're in America and you're an aspiring young terrorist who wants to prey upon your Jewish classmates, you're going home. And I think the American people understand that. They're supporting it. And I'm glad we have a president who's strong enough to lay down the law.
As legal appeals continue, the outcome of this case could set a precedent for how universities and the government balance campus safety with the protection of free speech and academic freedom. Aaron Rainin, VOA News, New York City.
And the story brings us to the end of tonight's bulletin, but before we leave, a reminder of the top stories that made the edition. In an interview with Marion Fall, a new media journalist, on ex-President Paul Kagame reaffirmed his stance on addressing regional security issues. Participants in the African Health and Economic Forum are encouraged to unite and collaborate to drive innovation and enhance the health sector across the African continent. On the international scene, we have seen how talk of tariffs combined with fears of inflation sent the U.S. stock market tumbling Monday and again on Tuesday, a day of give and take between the United States and Canada. Concludes today's bulletin. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of the entire news team, we wish you a productive week ahead. Stay safe and take care.